I think it's safe to go ahead and get started with the beverage creating.
Good. So like I said, Tom Collins. I don't know if we know who it's named after, but sure, he was a great guy. All right, so what you want to start off with is 2 Collins glasses, or tall glasses, and again, your gin of choice. Ours is Aviation Gin. It's made by Ryan Reynolds, right? Yep. This is not a plug for that, but it's a good one. So you want to open her up, and you want to eyeball or measure, I guess, about 2 ounces of gin in each glass. For me, it's a hefty 2 ounces, but
we don't really measure very much in this household.
Everything's about eyeballing. So that's good. All right, I'm going to start off with that, and then here to the side, and then you want 1 lemon. I believe you use about half a lemon.
A third to a half.
Third to a half. Again, eyeball. So you cut the lemon in half. Would you care to juice them?
Sure.
Each drink. You juice the lemon.
The
half a lemon.
Type of juicer is well worth the investment. Oh, that's very satisfying.
Sprayed in my face. But
sorry.
That's fine. All right.
We need to use our eyeballs later. Okay. And great.
Good.
Roll out of there. Okay, you've got it.
Okay. Next, you want to add just a pinch of simple syrup. I guess you can add more or less depending on how sweet you like your drinks. So that'll be yours.
Okay.
Sweet. Okay. Okay. Eyeball. All right. So now you want to mix this up as is, because later on you're going to be adding club soda, and you never want to stir too much once you've added club soda to a drink. Get rid of the bubbles. Run fast. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now go ahead and fill those glasses up with ice.
All the way to the top?
Yeah, pretty much.
Is that good? Yeah, we'll do a little. Okay.
Just fill to the top of this.
Okay. Okay.
All right. So you then top them off with club soda. And that will naturally mix in there on its own because it's a carbonated drink. And voila. Hopefully, perfect Tom Collins. You then garnish it.
We like to garnish it with lemon or basil or both.
We didn't cut up another lemon. That's fine.
Yeah.
So, cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Simple, easy.
Okay.
Okay.
That's Tom Collins. Now, the real reason people are here.
We hope.
I can't figure out how to scroll down to see comments, which could be problematic. I don't know. Okay. Well, we're going to play a piece by
Harp. Yes.
Okay,
I'll talk. It's called Fratres. This piece, Harp is an Estonian composer. He's actually still alive, which is rare for you classical music fans. He's primarily a minimalist composer. Fratres means brothers, actually. It's a piece that employs his style called tintinnabulation, which is a mouthful, but it comes from Latin meaning bell. Okay.
Go on, I figured out how to read the comments.
Oh, good. It comes from Latin meaning bell, and it's a style that very basically means one voice is arpeggiating the tonic chord. If you don't understand that, that's fine. While the other voice is moving in stepwise motion, usually in very slow-moving notes. So in this piece in particular, the harp, or Devanee will be mainly using the slow moving notes, whereas the cello arpeggiates a lot of chords. Other pieces that are famous for this, well, the one main one is called Spiegel and Spiegel, which is, you've probably heard it before. It's a very slow, very meditative piece. Fratres, on the other hand, has a lot of different dynamics to it. It goes from being very frantic to very peaceful and meditative. I think it's a very good dichotomy for, these strange times we live in. And it's a piece that also employs a lot of inspiration from Gregorian chant. I don't know if you'll really hear that in this, but it's there if you're keen on your listening. So, shall we move on over and get started? Cool.
We're gonna, yeah. Do you want to grab my beverage? And I'm gonna move this over to the living room. So we're doing just a quick little set change. We didn't want to mix beverages in front of our instruments. Okay, can you sit where you're gonna be? You can just set that on the fireplace. Nope, I want to go more that way. Yeah. Is that like a good visual? Can everybody see very well? Okay.
Comment down below if you can see.
Comment down below. Okay. I'm putting my. Let me check this string. Okay, people can see. That's great.
Good.
Okay.
Right here.
Okay. We're gonna pluck some strings. Okay.
All right.
My mother's cheersing. I'm gonna go back through, I guess, and answer questions. We'll answer questions. And now's the time to ask anything and everything. Go make me no. But for those of you that aren't familiar with Arkansas Philharmonic Orchestra, they are doing this really cool thing where they're pulling together musicians every Thursday for a quick little minute to just stay connected to music, connected to each other. It's really great. I'm glad they asked me to do this. They're also, I still think they're doing this. You can donate. You can go to their webpage and donate money, which goes to meals for nurses right now, which is really great. Okay, I'm gonna go through and see if I can find any questions. Okay, how did you get into music?
Oh, there's the fun.
I'm gonna take that as how I got into, I've always been interested in music, but I'm gonna turn that into how I got into the harp, because it's kind of interesting. I was always fascinated by the harp, but I grew up in a really small town, so I didn't think it was very accessible for me. And along with that, my biggest fear growing up was being abducted as a child. So I watched those news stories a lot growing up, thinking in my head that as long as I watched these news stories, I was like educating myself and it would never happen to me. There was the Elizabeth Smart story, which was a young girl out in Utah that was abducted, and she played the harp. And I just remember seeing this small little blonde girl play the harp on my TV screen. And that somehow weirdly resonated with me and compelled me to ask my parents if I could play that. And they told me to wait until the summer, because I'm sure that they both were like, how in the world do we get our daughter into this? But they figured it out. And here I am, like almost like a few years short of 20 years later, yeah. I guess. So, Michael, how'd you get into music?
My story maybe isn't as fun as yours. I didn't have a ton of interest in it growing up, but my brother did start playing violin as I was about to finish elementary school, I think. And in my young mind, my first thought was, I want to do what he's doing, but the opposite, because brothers. Which ties back to our piece, by the way. And so my parents were like, no, you're not going to play the bass, which obviously would have been the opposite. So I settled on the cello rather, picked it up. I guess I had a knack for it and really just fell in love with what I was doing. And how many years ago was that? A little over 10 years ago, I guess. Now, here we are. So that's always a fun question.
My friend Camilla asked, what's your favorite piece to play? Ooh. I like to play almost any piece with just ensemble. I would just really like playing with people, period. I think it's far more rewarding than playing a solo personally. It's more just interactive. I don't know if I necessarily have a favorite. I have
narrowing it down to one.
Like Symphony Fantastique is one of my favorites, but that's also the favorites are the hard ones.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you
have a favorite piece?
I mean, I don't have a favorite piece, but I tend to nudge myself towards things that sort of reinvent what people can do on the instrument. So I'm really into like modern, strange sounding, but interesting, fun things. That's a broad answer, but yeah.
Sarah says, love the shirt. Where'd you get it?
Which one?
I
mean, I like my shirt.
I like our shirt. I am doing some maybe too much quarantine shopping right now. And I got this from one of my favorite sites called Lulu's. You got yours.
I got this shirt from a site called Ricky and Mickey.
Yes.
So fashion is always important.
It's very great. Sorry, Christy, we don't have any Schnicka prepped. I wish we did.
Next time.
Let's see. What did that say? Okay, my brother's being smart.
Good.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and play another piece real quick.
anyone
Favorite
else?
harp. Okay, who are your favorite harpists and cellists, respectively, and what do you like about
I
them?
don't know.
There's a lot out there. One of my favorite harpists is actually the principal harpist for Kansas City Symphony. Her name's Catherine Siochi. She's like, we're similar in age, and I like her as a player, as a human being in general. I also really like the harpist. Oh, I feel bad because I'm not going to say her name right, but she does a lot of stuff with Philip Glass. Her name's like Laviana Meher or something like that. I also really love Bridget Kibbe. She's a harpist in New York City. And if you don't know who that is, look up Bridget Kibbe. She does Bach incredibly, like no one I've ever heard.
That's a hard question. I don't know. I'm not super well versed in people who are out there today, like reinventing things. But I guess one of my favorites was always Rostropovich. He's old school Russian cellist. He's dead now, but he was actually I saw not a concert by him, but like a memorial concert that they gave for him. That was just really inspiring to me as a young player. That was soon after he died. But his work throughout the 90s, like commissioning new works, I think really like, change the world a little bit, especially for our instrument. So that's my answer.
People are wanting to know what this sign says. There's a lot of signs around. One of them says, there's a sign on our fireplace that says family is forever. Oh, they might be talking about, there's the family sign on the fireplace, but there's also some signs that my niece made yesterday for a glow party. Those are taped up around the house.
Oh, they probably saw that.
That's taped up on the door.
That's what it was.
So
we had a glow party. Yeah.
Yes. Favorite venues, locations, places you've each played at.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. I don't necessarily remember locations as much as pieces I've played. I always like playing at Crystal Bridget just because it sounds nice.
Yeah. I mean, I performed in some, I know one of the biggest concert halls in Argentina. I went there on like a tour with my undergrad orchestra. I mean, I had like a solo in that, so that was like really memorable for me. I went to Italy, did some chamber music performances there, and not even anywhere like major, but just like some small churches and mini castles, I guess. So those stick out to me as like very memorable places. Music can take you all around the world, yeah.
Yes. Okay. A few people, namely my father, are requesting me play more. And luckily, I've prepared a tiny something just to wrap everything up that I hope you all enjoy. So you can just sit back wherever I'm going to try and... Oh, yes. No, I do need you to page turn. I just need to move this where it's visual. Okay.
So this will be Devanee on the harp and me on the page turn.
Yes. Okay, I guess Matt said you should have started singing, which would have been great.
Oh yes, next time for sure.
Maybe next time. Okay, well, thank you everyone for tuning in and watching. Be sure and follow the Arkansas Philharmonic page. They'll be doing more of these with a lot of great other people. Stay safe, stay sane, enjoy this
Music and
time as much as you can, and music and your loved ones. And maybe we'll see you soon.
Woo. Thank you so much, you guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Oh, did it work?